What's going on, everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about if this game against the Boston Celtics, in which the Chicago Bulls picked up a very big win, is also a sign of things to come in the future. Is this the start of something special, ladies and gentlemen? And you might be thinking, it's just one game. What could you possibly mean by the Chicago Bulls doing something special? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 6 road games to look forward to, I believe, and most of them are out west. So this is going to be a very difficult stretch for the Chicago Bulls, one in which, if we walk out of this stretch with a successful record, with a positive record nonetheless, I think this could potentially be the start or maybe the turning point for the Chicago Bulls throughout their season. And we'll get started in all of that in this video. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and whether or not you personally believe this game against Boston and the West Coast trip that we have to face very soon will be a turning point for this Bulls team. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I must say, and I said it in the game reaction as well, this is just one game of basketball. And yes, it was a great game of basketball. I enjoyed it from the start to the finish of the game. I thought we played splendidly well. Our big three played well. We had a good start to the first quarter, good start to the third quarter, very good fourth quarter. Played all 4 quarters of basketball. Solid on the defensive end. Very, very good on the offensive end. You can't list of many things that actually went wrong for the Chicago Bulls in this game. Not to mention the opponent that we versed, Boston, best team in the East, at least in terms of their record. Snapped a 9-game winning streak. Snapped our 4-game losing streak. We've now won 2 out of 8 games at home or in the NBA compared to 1 out of 7. So that's a positive side to see as well. But yeah, all things considered, I am very pleased with this win against the Boston Celtics, but it is just one game. So what we need to see as a Bulls team now is how can we see or look at that game, how we played in that moment of time, and how can we replicate and duplicate that performance in the future. I'm not just saying small ball. At the end of the day, sometimes matchups are the big, talking point, and Boston plays small ball, and usually when we face other teams, we're the team playing small ball. I'm not talking just based on small ball. I'm talking about the energy levels. I'm talking about running people off of the three-point line. These are also things that I feel like the Bulls haven't necessarily done very well in their losing streak, but did very well against Boston. It also felt like we're a team that was extremely energized. Throughout a lot of our blowout losses, we've had a couple of days off. We should be as fit as we could possibly be in terms of getting the rest that we need, because we have got a couple of days rest in between games now. We're not going to have another back-to-back until December 10th, ladies and gentlemen. So we should be feeling fit. We should be ready to go. But all things considered, these are all the things that I'm hoping that will help us in this West Coast trip. But let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. We said, can this be something special for the Bulls? My definition of something special is making it out of this West Coast trip with a better overall record than we did coming into this West Coast trip. And I'm including in Milwaukee in that as well. Of course, Milwaukee is a team that we will have to fight away from home before going out into that West Coast trip. But all things considered, I'd much rather just add all of our away games at once, because that is going to be a very difficult test for the Chicago Bulls. Not seeing the United Center crowd for a long period of time could do the world of harm for the Bulls, especially if we are low on confidence. In my opinion, the West Coast trip could go one or 2 ways, or 3 ways to be fair. Obviously, one way is that we fight and we win some games and lose some games. I feel like a lot of people might expect that from the West Coast trip. It could go terribly wrong, and yes, we played a great game against Boston, but we match up well with them, but we still are the same team, same players, same style of play, very frustrating, bad coaching, and we end up doing very, very poorly in this West Coast trip. Or the final way is we absolutely have a tremendous West Coast trip. Not winning every single game, because I think that is very harsh to ask from them, but doing very, very well, going on a positive record, and again, having a better record coming out of the West Coast trip than going into it. These are the 3 things that could potentially happen for the Chicago Bulls. And if we end up having a much better record coming into it, or I guess much better record coming out of the West Coast trip, I feel like this Bulls team has done something special. I remember last year's West Coast trip. I think we had 7 straight games, and a lot of them were without Nikola Vucevic, and we did very well to come out of that West Coast trip with, I believe, a neutral record at the time, or maybe it was just one below a neutral record. Maybe we went negative on that in terms of that. But if we could do better than that this time around, again, a lot of away games, a lot of games out west, and we're battling it all at once. This could potentially be a very big indication of how our season can go. It could also build our confidence. It can also, again, bring us together. I think a lot of people have said this, the away games in consecutive games, how many, I guess, weeks we'll be missing the Chicago Bulls at the United Center. These things could potentially also help this team in terms of bringing that chemistry back together, because it is harder to win away from home, ladies and gentlemen. And if you can't win away from home, then of course you're going to come to the United Center very, very low on confidence. But if you come back to the United Center with a winning record, knowing it's difficult, knowing it's tough, but still walking away with wins, you're going to come into the United Center. The crowd is going to be rocking. They obviously last remembered that Boston Celtics game in which they gave the Bulls a standing ovation for that game. You love to see that. And they'll be ready to go. Their energy will be back. And then maybe we can start doing things here, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, I will say this as well. Just because it is one game, don't expect too much out of the Chicago Bulls team. Because at the end of the day, we have been let down so many times before, and I don't want to go on a tangent and just go straight to the Bulls are going to win every single game just because we beat the Boston Celtics. The fact of the matter is, this Bulls team still has a lot to prove. I still don't have that much faith in Billy Donovan, if any faith in Billy Donovan. One game is not going to change my mind. I still think this big three occasionally do not play well together. One game's not going to change my mind. I do think we need we need to make changes in the starting lineup. That's not going to change my mind. One game is not going to change my mind. But it is a start. And everybody's mind can be changed depending on how well the Bulls play. So it's going to be up to them, ladies and gentlemen. It is always up to the Chicago Bulls. They have the ball in their hands. And now they're going to be able to determine whether people can believe in this Bulls team again, or if this Bulls team will just continue to make people lose even more hope. We'll wait and see. But this is a good start, ladies and gentlemen, and we can't deny that. And we shouldn't be able to hide from that. This game against Boston is a good start to hopefully redeeming themselves and building themselves back up again. We'll wait and see if it can be done. We'll wait and see what we can do in the future. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comments below, do you think the Chicago Bulls could do something special out in this West Coast trip? And if we do, my, has the season has changed from a 7-10 record all the way to where we could potentially be. It's going to be a big West Coast trip, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very impactful. And again, this could make or break our season realistically, those 6 games away from home. So we'll see how we do. Have a wonderful and safe day. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.